La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Hello and welcome to Don't Bury the Lead. We recap WWE SmackDown every Friday night after the bell. But today is a special day because we had a pay-per-view in Berlin, the WWE Bash in Berlin. My name's John Ziddell. I'm joined by Dom Scarcella. Dom, go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself.
We just saw the Berlin Brawl, and they tore it down at the Berlin Brawl. And did every match get won by a babyface today? With that little tease there, John, don't bury the lead. What's our top story from this premium live event from Berlin, Germany?
Dom, we don't ever bury the lead here at Don't Bury the Lead. So, our top story is the main event. Gunther retains over Randy Orton in what was I'll go ahead and say it, a fantastic match. Really loved this one. I have a lot of notes here to discuss, but maybe wanted to get your thoughts first, Dom. What did you think of Gunther versus Randy Orton?
Bell to bell, this goes about 34 and a half minutes. It looked like a premium live event world title main event. Starting slow, guys staring each other down, feeling each other out with some opening holds. The crowd was crazy. They started doing the wave at one point, and Randy Orton saw it and was surprised. And he starts looking around at them doing the wave. I mean, Gunther eventually wins this with the sleeper hold that he keeps reapplying as Randy Orton keeps fighting his way out of it, and eventually Randy Orton passes out and Gunther retains. I said before, babyface won every match. Gunther's a heel everywhere except Berlin, Germany. He was a babyface tonight. The crowd was crazy for him. There were dueling chants at one point. Randy Orton, let's go Gunther, back and forth from the crowd. So this was a babyface versus babyface matchup in this setting. Fantastic stuff. Gunther selling an arm injury most of the match. Randy Orton then towards the end starts selling his back. So a lot of great ring psychology. You said you had spots to go through. I just wanted to go through really just the setup, the feel of the match, the way the crowd was into it. Great, very entertaining, half hour plus worthy main event to a premium live event. I enjoyed it too.
Yeah. Thought it was great. Loved what Randy Orton did with they were doing the wave, and he stopped, he watched, he kind of took it all in as they're doing the wave, and then he joins in, do the wave. Really some next level stuff to kind of improv with the crowd there and work with them as they're doing something really unusual, right? In pro wrestling, we don't see the wave a lot.
No. You've been to pro wrestling live events. Have you ever done the wave?
I've never done the wave.
See, there you go.
And I'll go ahead and say it. I'm not a big wave guy. They do them at the Phillies games all the time, and I'm always rolling my eyes. I'm like, pay attention to the action, you know? So I'm the grumpy old man that doesn't like the wave. But, you know, at the end of the day, really good crowd pleaser with going along with it, and I thought that was really awesome. Gunther did a great job selling the arm injury throughout the course of the match, with the clotheslines not being as effective as they needed to be, and he just does a great job selling it the entire match. Chops, just happy to have Chops back from Gunther, because we don't see Gunther a lot because we're SmackDown guys.
He's on Raw now, yeah.
Anytime I see him doing the chops, I'm like, man, I miss this guy. I'll keep going here. There's the German suplex in Germany. So yeah, only saw
Don't
one.
call it a belly to back.
It's not belly to back. It's the German suplex in Germany by Gunther, and I thought what I thought was really, really good was the sleeper ending and getting over that sleeper hold. Um, he can win in any different type of way, Gunther, which makes him, in my opinion, the best wrestler in the world right now in any company. And he opens the match kind of attacking the head with a side headlock, and the crowd popped for it like crazy. So you knew they were going nuts there because they were going crazy for this like side headlock. But it was sort of like a variation of a sleeper. So he does it right in the beginning. We go 35 minutes and we get right at the end. He's still working the head, working the sleeper, and gets him to tap out. So really great storytelling throughout the match by both guys, and can't say enough about it.
How
Anything
about
else?
Randy working heel? At some point, he noticed it and started doing heel things like glaring at the crowd while he was driving Gunther's head into the mat with his knee, just like leaning on him with his knee and onto his head into the mat. And the thumb to the eye. Randy realized, okay, this is Gunther's moment to be the main babyface. That doesn't mean the crowd stopped chanting Randy, but like you spoke to the storytelling. Randy tried to work this as heel, as Gunther, for the first time I think we've seen, worked from underneath. He was beaten down most of the match and
Yeah.
had to like make a comeback. So this wasn't just the crowd cheering for a guy. These guys changed their style from what we've seen over the last couple of years.
Yeah, he was fighting back from the injured arm, So, yeah, that's interesting. We usually see Gunther working more so heel, but even the slight variation of him working face, he's still fantastic
Oh yeah.
in that role. But yeah, so let's see if I have anything else I want to talk about with this. It's pretty much it. Love this match. Thought it was great.
Love the side slam through the German announce table. All show they're using Michael Cole and Wade Barrett's announce table for spots. They're not touching the German announce table. So it's because the German announce table is the one that's rigged.
Oh, yeah.
And sure enough, in the main event, Randy Orton sets up the ring steps next to the German announce table, clears it off, and side slams Gunther through the German announce table. So that was a good one. That was a good one. Really great hard-hitting match. Something we're not used to seeing from main events. This was not a Cody Rhodes match where he's springing off the ropes all the time and hitting these, blind moves on people out of nowhere. This was an old-fashioned, hard-hitting, grappling match. Guys trying to wrestle defensively, selling the injuries. Randy Orton's a big enough guy where you could see him bullying Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Gunther usually doesn't look small against guys. He
No.
looked smaller. He didn't look small, but he looked smaller. So I think
Orton's
a lot of
such a
the
monster.
ingredients that went into this match, I think worked well here. So great fun match. Tell us in the chat, tell us in the comments, what did you think of this main event? Was this a main event worthy match for a world title? Since for forever that's been the Roman Reigns sort of domain. And then a few times Cody Rhodes. This is different. What did you think of Gunther, Randy Orton? I enjoyed it. It was a good change of pace. I wouldn't mind seeing this regularly. Great match. Great competitors. Gunther's the best.
I'll give you my 2 cents. I would just have gladly watched 5 matches of Gunther over and over and over and over and over. I think he's the best wrestler in the world right now.
Yeah.
And he's fantastic, and what a find for him for the WWE, and a real treat for I'd say like your more hardcore wrestling fans, right? Us, yes, exactly.
And not like fans of hardcore wrestling, hardcore fans.
Yeah, like people that
old time fans, people who've been watching longer than a few years, and who've seen multiple promotions, multiple styles, been involved in the indies. Yeah, we have a well-rounded palette for this sport here.
Yeah.
Now you said you wouldn't mind seeing 5 Gunther matches. That doesn't mean that the rest of this card was bad. I think it was a pretty good show overall. What do you say about your next favorite match on this card?
Yeah. We can get into it here. I called out the lead, Dom. So do you want to take over and push off or let us know what match you'd like to talk about next as we enter the follow?
I think the match here that had, strangely enough, the most action was right before the main event, the mixed tag team match. And it wasn't just because of all the run-ins. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley defeat Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan in about 14 and a half minutes. Tons of action in this. I really liked it. Rhea eventually gets the pinfall with the Riptide on the women's world champion, Liv Morgan. There. I was trying to remember which belt is hers and which one is Nia Jax's.
Right.
The women's world champion belt there. And sort of the setup for it was both Liv and Rhea were the legal competitors, and they were both down, and Liv got to her feet first and was just glaring at Damian Priest through the ropes because Damian Priest had just fought off all of Judgment Day and had clothesline Dominic Mysterio on the announce table outside, and then was just glaring back into the ring at Liv. And that's when Rhea recovered and stood up behind her. And as Liv stands up and turns around, she spins right into a headbutt and then a riptide for the pinfall. Surprising to see the baby faces who are now the baby faces win really in the first official confrontation here? Or did you think Judgment Day would go over first and they would maybe drag this out before the babyface winning payoff?
To be honest with you, this is the one I missed, So I think
okay, I was a little surprised by this. I had some trouble streaming on Peacock. It might be my laptop that constantly wants to update. It doesn't play nice with Peacock. I went back and watched this because my feed crapped out after the third match. This was the 4th of 5. So yeah, without talking about match, then just talk psychology. Are you surprised that they went with the baby faces kind of with the payoff in the first official confrontation here?
Yeah, I guess they kind of want to make Rhea not look too weak because she has been built really strongly and she just lost the title. So I don't think 2 losses in a row is such a good idea. So I would say, if I had to make a prediction, that's what I would have made.
Okay. I thought maybe Judgment Day would gang up and somehow Dirty Dom would find a way to pin Damian Priest. Instead, Damian Priest took out all of Judgment Day eventually. And then Rhea just finished off on Liv there in the middle of the ring. So I was surprised that they went that. I mean, maybe it's been such a long build on Raw that even though they haven't officially had a match, this was worth it. I mean, I guess the other aspects of this feud have more legs, like perhaps Rhea getting back her title and Damian maybe going one by one through the Judgment Day at some point. So this was a fun match. The crowd was into it.
I did want to ask you.
Yes.
Did Rhea have any physicality with Dom? Like, did she hit Dom at all?
Yes. There was one spot where Rhea took care of Liv, and then as Dom was still in the ring for some reason while Damian was recovering on the outside, Rhea does go after Dirty Dom, almost gets him with a pump handle slam there. But Rhea pulls him off, and then, it's the women fighting again. Because it's weird. The men can't fight with the women, but the women can fight with the men, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I know the mixed tag is a little goofy. They're always a little goofy because of that aspect.
Little goofy, but it's a neat wrinkle. It's a neat wrinkle, and they play it well. There was good timing. Rhea also nailed Carlito when he was trying to interfere. He jumped up on the apron. Rhea ran around and just like underneath picked him up on her shoulders and dropped him face first into the ring apron after Damian Priest had taken care of JD McDonough. So like Rhea got into fighting off the men from the Judgment Day as well. Rhea can do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Rhea can
And
do that. And you knew there was going to be some interference in this match. The question was, would they let the baby faces win right away? I'm not against it. I'm a little surprised, but that doesn't mean I'm against it. I thought it was a really good match, lots of action. I enjoyed it.
yeah, for sure.
So where do
Very
you want to go? This was a lot of Raw. The last three matches were all Raw stuff. The second to match was half Raw because it involved the women's tag team champions who are mostly on Raw. This was very little of a SmackDown show, which we watched. So where do you want to go next?
we can go to the opener.
Okay.
Cody Rhodes retains his title against Kevin Owens.
Yep.
I thought this was a pretty good match. Certain things that stuck out to me was right in the beginning, because they're in Germany, instead of like 1, 2, they're saying eins, zwei for 1 and 2. I'm like,
Okay.
oh, okay, it's Germany. Okay, so
you know a little German. That's good.
I had to Google it before this, and I might have already butchered eins,
Okay.
zwei, but I had to point this out. Kevin Owens always undefeated in that corner spot. There was a really cool spot he had with Cody where he did like a not a Samoan drop, but like when you go forward with the Samoan drop onto Cody
The
Rhodes.
brainbuster off of the second turnbuckle.
Yes, he did like a rolling thing off of out of the corner.
The rolling senton with the fireman's carry. That one also. Yeah, he, like you said, he's undefeated. There was more than one of those in this match. Yes.
You know, and the announcer did not call it out this time. Typically, Corey Graves will always say, "Oh, I don't know why they're in the corner. He's so good in the corner," and it's every time it's a setup for Owens to go over. But yeah, I thought that was good. Cody did a great job selling the knee injury. And you know, I do have to say also the crowd really into Kevin Owens.
Yep.
He was getting a lot of cheers, maybe more so than Cody. I mean, I know they're both like the faces here, but he seemed to be a bit more. He seemed popular amongst the German crowd.
That's not bad though. I'm not against babyface versus babyface, especially in these pay-per-views on foreign soil where the crowd's just going to be hot and wants to cheer.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a problem, especially in the opening match. Just throw two way over baby faces in it. Let the crowd cheer for everything. You don't need booing necessarily in your opening match, even if it's because the heel's getting heat. People can cheer for everything. I did not mind that. Did you mind that?
No.
Okay.
And I thought it was a good opener, and I actually, if there's one slight I have on the pay-per-view, is that literally everything I thought was going to happen happened, even up to, they're probably going to have to open with KO and Cody Rhodes because they can't close with them.
No.
But it's a title match, so you can't have them like back to back. And I know they like to open. They kind of, I think it used to be like you were a curtain jerk years ago. You know, when you did the opener, you're kind of like, it was a non-important match, but now has become a much bigger match, you know, from where you slot it on the card. So, yeah, they did a good job as the curtain jerks.
I liked it too. At the end, they also shake hands post-match. You mentioned Cody selling the knee. A big thing in this match was Kevin Owens not wanting to attack Cody's bad knee when he rolled to the outside and the ref was checking on him. And they say that may have cost Kevin Owens the match. You know, he wouldn't go for the kill shot on Cody's knees. He then hesitated doing the power bomb onto the apron, which is a move of his. And Wade Barrett was all over it, questioning whether KO had that killer instinct. KO eventually does hit a stunner for a 2 count right after that. A couple of minutes later, he hits another stunner for a 2 count. And then when Kevin Owens goes for a top turn senton there, Cody Rhodes gets the knees up, and it was his right knee, not his bad knee, the left knee, that took most of the brunt on the senton. and then Cody hits Crossroads for a pinfall. Match went about 23 minutes. They had been teasing, oh, Kevin Owens is going to turn. Kevin Owens is going to turn. He never turned, and in fact, they shook hands at the end. I was saying as we were talking about it, I don't think you need to have every match be decided heel versus decided babyface. And they didn't have that in this pay-per-view.
The only thing I did think it was a little, I don't know. It wasn't my cup of tea to have
Okay.
Kevin Owens not attack the knee, and that for some reason that would be a heel move. Like, no, you're using strategy. That's not like a heel move. Or maybe I'm misunderstanding what a heel move is. Like, his knee's injured, go after it. Like, of course, you want to win the title still.
Yep.
You could be a good guy and want to win the title. But I guess what they were just trying to do was like give you some hope that maybe if Kevin Owens would have attacked the knee, then he could have won the title. But I didn't think that. I don't know. If I was really nitpicking, I'd say that wasn't my favorite thing. But I like.
Tell us in the chat. Tell us in the comments. What do you think of that angle there later in the match where Kevin Owens does not go after the bad knee? They alluded to this the previous night on SmackDown when they had a face-to-face in the ring. Kevin Owens said, people have been texting me the little tour we've been doing of Germany here, of Europe, that you're getting a lot of extra treatment on your left knee. There's something wrong with it. So they teased it last night that Cody had a bad leg, and Cody kept saying, my knee is fine, my knee is fine. And then tonight he tries to leap up to the top rope, and his knee gives out. So his knee was not fine. And so then it became, is Kevin Owens going to go after it? And like Kevin Owens was hinting that he didn't want to fight a hurt champion. So they're like really laying it on thick with Kevin Owens as the real gentlemanly babyface here.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is really not his character.
No, it never has
Fight
been.
Owens, fight,
Yeah. He's at least scrappy as hell, Yeah. So like that's the best way I could describe him as a wrestler. It seems very scrappy.
How about Kevin Owens in this role as the veteran who's way over and could be in the title picture, but as they mentioned on the announce table, has not held a singles title in at least 7 years?
I didn't realize that.
Me neither. I hadn't been watching it that long, obviously, but I thought maybe he had a title 3-4 years ago, like right before we started watching. Not even an IC belt or a US belt.
US or IC or something like that, because he was their champ there for a while, but he hasn't had a singles title, which is it's odd almost.
Right.
That he's gone this long without it. Even like it always feels like they'll pop it on a veteran every now and then. Like Rey Mysterio was a US champion.
Right.
But
after getting inducted into the
he was post Hall of Fame induction.
He's supposed to be retired, and they put the belt on him.
Yeah, right.
And made him wrestle like every other week.
Oh yeah, he was out. I mean, he's killing himself out there. But yes,
this match starts with a handshake, and post-match ends with another handshake. By the way, so did the main event. Gunther, still selling the right arm, extends the left hand to Randy Orton. So this premium live event ended with really two baby faces handshaking, and it ended with, in Germany, two baby faces shaking hands again. So not real concerned about having these villainous heels in every match. So where do you want to go next here?
Yeah,
we have 2 matches left.
Maybe one more thing here.
Okay, sorry about that.
So no. So this is not related to the match. I was just reading about Kevin Owens today. I don't know if this is fact or not. It could be fake news. It was like on Daily DDT. It said his contract's up in December. So who knows if he won't be doing too much and they're going to phase him out, or if he'll re-sign. I think they were just saying, like, theoretically, like, he might not sign again with WWE, or maybe in a different role. He's been wrestling for years now. So
he was on the indies before WWE too, right? He's been wrestling more than 20 years, right?
Yes. And he's got, I think, a very big contract with them right now.
Okay.
And you know how WWE, TKO, say what you will, they're always trying to keep salaries a little low, right? They're always looking at the salaries.
It's a publicly traded company again.
Yeah, so they're probably looking saying, "Hey, we're paying this guy probably 7 figures a year. Can we get rid of him?" You know?
Quarterly earnings.
Mm-hmm.
The quarterly earnings calls, every 3 months. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think he's been very good, but there is a time and a place when you're like, who is he? A very very top guy like Randy Orton, or is he just a shy below, just a hair below that?
Mhm.
So he doesn't necessarily deserve such a big contract. But
He's sort of in a
I'm
role
just
now where he's the veteran who belongs on TV, but if he's not there, you're not going to totally miss him. And maybe that's a segue to CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, because when we did our grading show after watching SmackDown again for 3 months, I said that about Drew McIntyre. I said he's competent at his job, but he's a great old veteran to have out there. But if he's off TV for a while, you don't miss him. I think he's changed since then. I think he's doing some of the best work of his career now. And in this strap match with CM Punk, goes about 19 minutes. This was a really entertaining strap match.
yeah, and Drew McIntyre or CM Punk wins.
Yeah,
the strap match.
Tell me what you thought of this match. 19 minutes for a strap match. I have some things that I thought were neat about it, but
Yeah, how about you start?
You want me to start? Sure. I love the fact that they had the different colored lights above each ring post.
Mm-hmm.
Red light would light up if Drew McIntyre tagged it. Green light would light up if it was CM Punk tagging it. The strap match rules are you have to beat your opponent so badly that he can't prevent you from walking from corner to corner, each 4 corners in succession, and tagging them. If your opponent recovers and hits an offensive move at any time, that stops the count of your turnbuckles and it resets. And that was just a great thing because you see the lights light up. I mean, it's such a good visual, not only for people on TV, but for people in the live arena there.
Yeah.
So just that one production thing I thought was really cool, having the lights there. I've never seen that before. The strap looked unusually long. It was almost as if these guys could go like corner to corner and just extend their arms and the strap would still span that distance. They didn't use the strap as a weapon too much. It was more often just these guys slugging it out. CM Punk wanted to use a table at one point, and he wound up going through it, because, hey, you got to turn the tables on them.
Right.
Drew McIntyre wanted to use a chair at one point, and so naturally, Drew McIntyre wound up going headfirst into the chair that he set up. So, there you go. They turned the tables. Not only did they tear it down at the Berlin Brawl, but they turned the tables on them. Literally. And the chairs when they tried to use foreign objects. So this was a fun match. I've never seen a strap match that was this much fun.
It was a good match for sure.
That doesn't mean I want to see strap matches all the time, but for a strap match, this was fun, right?
Yeah.
Or am I gushing over it too much?
I think they did a good job with the weapons, specifically the table and the chair. They set them up in advance, and they let you see that they're there in advance, and then they get to them. So it kind of builds that anticipation. I feel like sometimes when there's weapons involved, people take the table out, they set it up, they do the move, that's that. Whereas when you set it up, you make people aware of it, they know it's there, and then they're like, oh, okay, they're going to get to it at some point, right? And then you get more heat when you kind of, hold the suspense, right?
Yep.
With having the weapons out there in clear vision, like it's going to get used at some point. How will it get used? And I really like what they did using the strap to whip Drew McIntyre into the chair.
Yeah, that was cool. I had forgotten about the table because CM Punk reached for the table while Drew was down. Drew recovered, beat him down some more, and slid the table back under the ring. So later on, they're back on the floor. CM Punk's got the advantage. He sets up the table, but then again, Drew recovers. So Punk couldn't hit the move on the table. And then they just left it there. I forgot the table was there until Drew McIntyre from the ring, as CM Punk was standing on the apron, side slammed him all the way down through the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I forgot.
No, yeah, I know it was out there for a while, but I think they did a good job with setting it up.
Mhm.
I put on my notes, blade job, CM Punk, he gigged.
Did he do the blade above his left eyebrow, or was that the hard way after the Glasgow kiss maybe got a little too close there?
Oh no, he gigged.
He did it.
I
Okay.
I know he gigged, and I'm wondering, was he allowed to gig? I know they're not really allowed to gig, or were they saying, okay, for the pay-per-view you can, or on Peacock is it different than the TV? I don't know.
Mhm.
I mean, I have a feeling when they go to Netflix, we're going to see a lot of blood.
On Raw,
Because
right?
on Raw, yeah, I do have a feeling that that's going to be around, and once those guys get the go ahead that they can gig, they're going to start gigging, right? So, I think we saw a blade job tonight for sure. I mean, he was. I could tell it was a blade job. Let's put it like that. I don't know if Drew did it to him or if Punk did it to himself.
Okay.
Because I did see at some point Drew put his hands up and like gouged at Punk's face. So I don't know if he had like a blade on him or how they did it.
Okay.
But yeah, it was either way. I saw the blade job. And
Mhm.
then I was confused a little bit by the match when why the lights would reset. I agree with your assessment. Like, it's cool to have the lights on so you know, okay, they touch the corner, the light goes on. But I didn't really get why they would reset.
You have to touch them in succession. It's not like eventually during the match you touch every corner.
Mm.
You have to have your opponent beaten down enough that you can just go corner to corner uninterrupted and hit all 4 matches.
So if they're like, if you hit the 3 of them, then you're going to hit the 4th corner and you get stopped. They just reset them.
If your opponent can hit an offensive move.
Okay, gotcha.
So that was it. I think that's a neat rule, and the visual helped because you could see the ref wave his arms to stop the count, and then you'd see the lights turn off.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. I figured CM Punk would win because Drew won the last one. Now they'll have the blow off. Going into the. I don't know when they'll do it, but they'll definitely have another match, right? Because we're tied up.
They had a few neat things with this where guys would tag 3 and then get stopped on the 4th one. There was also one where Drew was trying to get arrogant and he would fireman carry Punk around from corner to corner. But as he would tag and then turn around, Punk would tag the corner too.
Mm-hmm.
And it took 3 corners before Drew realized that CM Punk was lighting up the corner each time as well.
Yeah.
So that was kind of funny. I thought the crowd maybe got a chuckle out of it. Eventually, to win this, Drew hits a Claymore and tags 3 corners, but Punk pulls him back to the center of the ring and manages to hit a go-to-sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Then Punk's hit a second go-to-sleep, tags 2 of the corners, sees Drew stirring a bit, hits a third go-to-sleep in the sequence, tags the 3rd corner, turns back, hits a 4th go-to-sleep, takes his bracelet off of Drew's wrist, tags the 4th corner. This match goes about 19 minutes. I liked it. In post-match, Oban Elliott, a UFC welterweight, was there in the front row, celebrated with CM Punk. I guess they have some sort of relationship there, or they know of each other, maybe professional courtesy from CM Punk's time in the UFC trying to do MMA.
They try to keep the UFC guys every now and the WWE stuff.
Oh, sure.
Because they're all one conglomerate at this point.
Yeah. But it looked like these guys didn't just like point to each other. They had like a hug and an embrace and took selfies or something.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Little cross promotion. Why not? Fun match, 19 minutes. Any other spots you wanted to mention? CM Punk was basically the baby face here. So again, another baby face wins.
Yeah, no, you're right. And he was over as a baby face. It wasn't a. It did help that Drew was being a very dastardly heel the whole time. So it was pretty
Some
obvious.
of the best work of Drew's career. He's really staying heel.
No, yeah, he stepped up. He's way better at heel. Maybe he was incorrectly kind of booked as a face for forever. He's way better as a heel.
Well, you said it, and I think we've heard some other upper echelon, WWE or AEW people say sometimes it's easier to be a heel because that's easier to do. You just cheat, you take shortcuts, you're angry at people, you tell them to shut up, you growl. It's tougher to get people on your side.
Oh yeah, for sure. When you have a good face, you have to hang on to him because it's so much harder to be a face than a heel. But then also there's that responsibility of the heel to do more creative stuff because they have that wiggle room. They can't just be like, "Oh, I'm a jerk." Like, no, they gotta bring it more.
Yep.
As a heel. But anyways, we have one other match here. We have Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair knocking off Dawn and Fire for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. So we have new belts, new champs. Dom, what you think of this Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair tag match?
Match goes about 12 minutes. Jade does not get her first tag into the match until almost 8 of those 12 minutes have expired.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So Bianca Belair was doing a lot of the work here, a lot of double teaming by Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. I'm trying to remember their name. I think they call them Unholy Union is their tag team name. There was sort of a surprise win in the triple threat match in a pay-per-view maybe a few months ago where Alba Fire and Isla Dawn won it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wonder if that was just putting it on them just as a nod to how hard they had worked getting up to the main roster and how well they were doing at that time. But it looks like the plan is to get the belts back on the two baby faces. I wonder if there's a turn involved, a heel turn involved for one of them, either Bianca or Jade here. I mean, Jade she still doesn't look like she could hang with Bianca one-on-one.
Yeah. I wish they would give her kind of, I don't know, cut her loose a little bit sometimes because they hide her for 8 minutes in the match. And I get it's the hot tag, but she comes in, she does the moves of doom, and
she's in the match for 4 minutes and not even the whole 4 minutes because she tagged out again.
Right. Yeah, she
wrestled 2 of the 12 minutes.
Yeah, they continue to hide her, right? So it's almost like it's like how they treat celebrities when they do the tag matches, where they're like they can only do a couple things, so they just do their couple things.
And Jade gets the pinfall after that double team DDT electric chair suplex.
I like that though. I like that the double team suplex. I thought that looked cool, and I think they're doing unique double team stuff. I don't want to destroy Jade too much here, so
no, they're doing good. They're doing good moves that look like they're a team rather than just two singles wrestlers they threw together because they don't have anything for them to do at the moment. So they are trying to wrestle more as a team. I still need to see more from Jade.
Yeah, for sure. It's been it's not WWE. It's not a success story at this point. I'd say it's like it's not as bad as Ronda Rousey when she was terrible. But it's not what you would expect for someone coming like as a big signing. I think she's a bit of a dud. But
that's a good comparison. Ronda Rousey, she was a big signing as well, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't get to see Ronda Rousey just in a tag match, just waiting on the outside for 8 minutes, coming in for maybe 2 minutes of the rest of the match and getting the pin. But that's a good question. Maybe the Ronda Rousey era in WWE has made them very careful about putting someone who's just a big name in there into singles matches and then having people on the interwebbies just crap all over them in the dirt sheets.
Yeah. Losers like us.
Right. Sometimes it's warranted though.
Yeah.
We don't try to find things to complain about, but we're looking at something and it's obvious.
Yeah, I think our mission as far as creating the channel is we err on the side of positive.
Sure.
We typically will just say, yeah, it's pretty good. But when something is glaringly bad, you have to kind of point it out. But
we're wrestling fans. We don't want to we don't want to hate watch something for 2 hours on a Friday or
yeah,
for 3 to 4 to 5 hours on a Saturday or Sunday.
yeah. But no,
Like, we're not
totally.
Twitter trolls. We,
Right. We are not the Twitter trolls.
even though I keep saying it should have been called the Berlin Brawl.
That's without question. It needed to be called the Berlin Brawl. They really dropped the ball there.
And they tore it down at the Berlin Brawl.
Exactly. We missed the opportunity. Just such a shame. But yeah.
Now, I did do a little reading. Apparently, there was a video game sports event a few years ago that they may have called the Berlin Brawl. It was sponsored by BMW over in Germany. So maybe WWE was aware of that. But I'm thinking they just didn't want to call it that because it's, they're corporate now.
They are very corporate, but they've always been pretty corporate. But
we're very corporate. We can't call it the Berlin Brawl, but you
could
can
offend-
call it the Berlin Brawl.
It'll offend like one person maybe, and that's just one person too many.
We need more karaoke and Berlin Brawl.
That's a short.
I want more of that. We had fun with the karaoke and Cheap Heat a couple of weeks ago, and then last week as well. And we're having fun with the Berlin Brawl. So that's 5 matches on this card. The babyface wins every match with an asterisk that some matches had 2 baby faces.
Yeah, and as far as Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, I did have one more thing I wanted to say.
Yes, go for it. Sorry.
The people love counting, no matter what part of the world you're in. We're getting the Eins, Zwei in the corner when they're doing the punches, the 10 punches. Yep. They're saying it in German, but they love the 10 punches. If you're watching right now and you want to be a pro wrestler and you're a babyface, do the 10 punches. People love counting.
Yes.
Just do something where people count. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents for the 10 punches by Bianca Belair. Keep doing it. Yes,
and WWE fans are just cued into that right now.
Yes.
They just start counting, and I think almost that if the crowd starts counting, the wrestler's like, oh, no, I got to keep doing this.
Right.
Like, I was just going to punch you twice in the corner, but the crowd went 1, 2. Now I got to hit you 8 more times. Sorry.
Right. Even though
I have to do this now.
Even though it is ridiculous, like getting punched in the face 10 times would be like, you would be destroyed, in real life.
The only guy that gets a little leeway from that is LA Knight because they don't count. They go, yeah.
Right. So they could just go, yeah, and he could do it
whenever he wants.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dom, anything else for this show here before we enter the thumb drive?
Okay, I want to bring up one thing. Kaiser gave Gunther's intro.
Mm-hmm.
And Kaiser seemed way over. The most wonderful thing I saw in this pay-per-view was the night before at SmackDown. The opening match was LA Knight's open challenge for the U.S. Championship. They sent out Kaiser to do it. And Kaiser got a huge cheer. In fact, it was so much of a cheer, I think it surprised both guys.
Oh, wow.
Because you could see as they started out, LA Knight's kind of smirking and looking at the crowd, and he looks right at Kaiser and he smirks too. And Kaiser, trying to stay in heel character, just kind of does the,
right.
And they just both soaked it in. It was kind of like Kaiser's WrestleMania moment. And the match went 12 minutes. LA Knight wound up winning, but the crowd was doing "Let's go Kaiser," clap, 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 clap. It's not that they booed LA Knight, but they were so behind Kaiser. Kaiser looked great in this match. We know him mostly as a toady and as a guy before that who was basically most valuable as the guy cutting Gunther's promos for him.
Yeah.
Before Gunther learned how to talk,
or
at least really cut a good promo. But what a heartwarming moment. And it looked like both guys in the ring were soaking it in.
That's cool.
They were surprised that Kaiser got for him, this has got to be his WrestleMania moment. He never gets a singles push. He never gets used in a big pay-per-view. And here he was just overwhelming support for Kaiser, to the point where they may have let this match go a little longer and let Kaiser look a little stronger than normal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he really hit some moves on LA Knight, got several near falls. I mean, he looked good
Yeah,
in
and
this match. Like, on a normal SmackDown, LA Knight takes care of a bottom card flunky like Kaiser in 7 minutes. They let him go 12, and Kaiser looks strong. And I thought it was, what a great moment for him, and a great moment for LA Knight, like realizing it and just like smirking at him and like saying, okay, your time here, and like letting Kaiser really dominate him for some good stretches of that match. Wonderful.
yeah, that's cool. That's cool to hear. I know Kaiser had a pretty good match against Cody Rhodes. We saw on SmackDown. And I never really see him wrestle, and I was like, oh, he's pretty good.
Yep.
So,
pretty good as a singles wrestler, and got a very heartfelt cheer from the crowd in Berlin. And it carried over to tonight when he took the microphone from Samantha Irvin to do Gunther's bilingual introduction there. You know, the crowd was behind him for it.
yeah,
So good for him.
Y-
Good for him.
very cool. No, I think it's a good call out.
It was like Rhea Ripley being a babyface in Australia at Elimination Chamber before her face turn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was a great moment for her.
Yeah.
Zelina Vega getting the babyface cheer in Puerto Rico at Backlash the year before, when she was still
was
part of
awesome.
a heel faction. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes that's just so good for some of these performers, and especially for, and Kaiser wasn't being put in a main event role. You know, he was just there to kind of, get the crowd going, and the crowd went overboard. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that in there because they do SmackDowns and premium live events as if they're a pair now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they work as a pair, like it's a, it's a 2-for-1 shot.
Yeah.
Friday night and then Saturday, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's drive time. I think it's time for you and I to encapsulate this entire premium live event into a simple thumbs up or a thumbs down. There are no ties. There are no the refs calling the match and throwing the match out. No. There will be a winner or a loser tonight. There are also no letter grades, no number grades, no star ratings. You're taking this course, pass, fail.
Dom, we're not Dave Meltzer. We don't do star ratings. We don't do 7 stars in Japan. We don't do 3 stars in Germany. No. We do a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Was the show good or did it stink? So ready?
I am ready, my friend.
3, 2, 1. Oh!
2 thumbs up. They tore it down at the Berlin Brawl.
That's right. They tore it down at the Berlin Brawl. We got to get as much Berlin Brawl stuff in as possible. Tom, why'd you give this a thumbs up?
5 matches, all of them except for the women's tag match, were premium live event quality. And even in the tag match, you could see Bianca working hard and trying to bring Jade along. And Alba Fire and Isla Dawn are fantastic as well. Like they belong on the main roster. And I could see why, if you were going to have a transitional champion there for a while, that these 2 women got the belts. Everything else was best strap match I've seen between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. I like giving Gunther the spotlight as the main event to close the show in Berlin. He was awesome. Randy Orton was awesome as well. I liked even the mixed tag match, which those can be really iffy because, like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Even this match was fun, even though the ending to me was a surprise that they had the baby faces go over. So even in the matches where I was a little surprised, I thought all the matches were worthy of a premium live event. They were in and out in about 3 hours or so. The crowd loved it. They also showed that you could put on matches with 2 baby faces and not have one of them, suddenly turn.
Yeah.
The crowd doesn't mind cheering for everybody. I mean, not for every match, that would get stale. But every now and then, the crowd doesn't mind cheering for everybody.
Mm-hmm. And, from my perspective, Dom, my thumbs up is based around Gunther and Randy Orton just absolutely tearing it up. You could have just had that. If I had all other bad matches and Randy Orton and Gunther had that match, I probably would have given it a thumbs up. But the
Yep.
fact that the other matches also carried their weight, I think it was a really good showing by WWE. The foreign crowds continue to impress again.
Yep.
And really good show. So thumbs up, no questions asked from me. And yeah, that will take us into what we typically would do is go to Cheap Heat, but we're just going to do the show tonight, just to recap. Later on this week, we'll be putting out Cheap Heat. So, we wanted to just do a recap of the Berlin Brawl, as we would like to call it.
Yes,
also,
we're taking it old school here, back when we would just do recaps.
Yes. So we're going to head into the Italian goodbye here. And this is going to be a bit more of an Irish goodbye because I have a hard stop. Thank you all for joining. We are getting a lot of traction from our Logan Paul video. So go check that out. It's over 33,000 views. It is our most watched video ever. And we are very excited about that. So thank you all for, if you've tuned in for any part of this, or if you're tuning in to any of the shorts, and you're subscribing, it's really helpful. We really appreciate it. We are knocking on the ad revenue door soon to kind of come our way. So we will be that next level of monetization, which would be really exciting. So thank you so much for kind of checking our channel out. It's getting a lot more traction, which is great. Dom, thanks so much for joining tonight and doing everything
Tell
that you
people
do.
to subscribe, and also tell them next to that subscribe button is a join button, where we have some extra gifts you're thinking of giving out there to people who sort of use the tip jar there. So subscribing helps. Joining is also wonderful. We had our first contribution there, donation there that came through. We were very glad about that. The numbers are going up. Thank you to everybody. The chats and the comments are coming in. Those are great as well. We like hearing from people, even if they disagree with us. We had an edited clip you put together a while back of Mercedes Moné and Bailey visiting Amazing Red, and me saying that I didn't really remember Amazing Red. It had been almost 20 years since I saw him in TNA Impact. And sure enough, in the comments, people are telling me that I need to go look up some Amazing Red matches. And I did go look up some Amazing Red matches, and I went back into the comments and I thanked everybody and told them. So we do read your comments. We do read your chat contributions if you're on the live stream. And yes, we do pay attention and sometimes reply to you. Keep them YouTube appropriate over there on the YouTube channel. We don't need strikes on the channel or anything there. If you're watching us live on Twitch or on Twitter or anywhere else, just know we appreciate you catching us live, but the mother load of our content is on YouTube. That's where we can store things like these live streams, like the edited clips that John puts together, like the shorts that are under 60 seconds. So you can see all of our great content that we've been putting out there for almost 2 full years now at Don't Bury the Lead.
Wow, almost 2 years. Amazing.
Almost 2 years.
Well, Dom.
September 30th, 2022.
Yeah, and I
was our first live stream of SmackDown, when I wondered who the heck Karrion Kross was and why he looked like a psychotic dancer.
And not much has changed.
Not much has changed. Yes, he's still a psychotic dancer over on Raw, though. That's all that's changed. He's on Raw now.
But yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. I try to make this a bit more Irish than Italian, but we're leaning a little bit toward the Italian as we're dragging out the goodbye. So
it's time to go. It's been a lot of fun, but it's time to go, right?
Yes. So thank you all for joining, and have a great rest of